Hey, free Gaza. Fuck. Hamas are murderers.
We pray for the innocent people of Gaza. We got caught up in the middle of this terrible war, but it doesn't excuse the actions of Hamas on October 7th.
Hamas. Also, not just murderers, but also baby killers.
Anyways, we're going to watch this other clip here. I just want to take a look at Rubio's response. So this is Rubio on the current situation in Gaza.
I want to begin by thanking Foreign Minister Saar for this kind invitation, and I regret that I cannot be with you all in person.
Okay.
Golda Meir once said, it took Moses 40 years to find the only place.
I'm personally highly against the two-state solution as well, because it's just in practice it's just bad. I mean, it never works.
I mean, from the start of this war, it was a horrible war. It was one they were avoiding. They never wanted to get into this war. That's why they gave up Gaza to begin. That's why they made peace with them. They wanted to avoid any conflict.
In the Middle East with no oil.
Derision and
but Israel's wealth lay not under the ground,
sides,
but in its people,
different religions,
the Jewish people, exiles, pilgrims, and dreamers from around the world who made the desert bloom into a high-tech superpower. Israel accomplished this miracle not by abandoning its history and identity, but by embracing them. Sadly, some of Israel's neighbors have failed to appreciate how following Israel's example could have brought prosperity to the region. Instead, they chose war. They decided to impoverish their people in a futile effort to destroy Israel. They succeeded in the former, while failing in the latter. Anti-Semitism is the world's oldest bigotry, and given that we are all here today, it is also the world's most futile. Egyptian pharaohs, Roman emperors, Persian shahs, and Middle Eastern despots have sought to destroy the nation of Israel. Adolf Hitler dreamed of a world without Jews, an idea he shares with Hamas. Today, these regimes and empires have crumbled into dust, but Israel stands, and the Jewish people prosper. I pray for the day when the entire world will recognize the futility of anti-Semitism, when leaders will abandon self-destructive hatred and forge a new future in partnership with Israel by building on the Abraham Accords. Under President Trump's leadership, there are signs that the future may be closer than we dared dream. But only if we can overcome the futile, persistent evil of anti-Semitism can we reach that future. Earlier this year, I stood beside Foreign Minister Saar at the Yad Vashem Memorial. I remembered the millions of Jews who were slaughtered and reflected on the meaning of the words, never again. The importance of those words were brought home to every American last week when Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram were murdered in cold blood outside of the Capitol Jewish Museum here in Washington, D.C. Yaron was a Christian born in Germany who came to love the Jewish state. Sarah was from Kansas and loved Yaron. They dreamed of marrying in Jerusalem, and instead, they were cut down in cold blood by a monster who did not care about Yaron's faith or Sarah's background. We should never forget that as he was being arrested after killing two innocents who he believed were Jews, the murderer proudly screamed, "Free, free Palestine." Words that now serve as a battle cry for the death of Jews, the destruction of Israel, and the horrors we must never again allow. There can be no compromise with anti-Semitism. There can be no nuanced separation of hatred of Israel and hatred of the Jewish people. Those who call to boycott Israel are calling for the boycott of their Jewish neighbors and classmates. Those who call for violence against Israelis are calling for violence against Jews. Those who call for the destruction of Israel are calling for the destruction of the Jewish people. That is why, as we extend our prayers to Iran and Sarah's loved ones, we must stand in solidarity with Israel.
We absolutely have to stand with Israel.
There can be no
That's true.
coexistence with evil. There can be no nuance to hatred. Under President Trump, the United States will stand with the Jewish people. We have implemented a vigorous new visa policy that will prevent foreign nationals from coming to the United States to foment hatred against our Jewish community. We are holding international organizations and nations accountable for rhetoric against Israel that resurfaces in the manifesto of monsters, like Iran and Sarah's killer. But we do see an eventual light at the end of this long tunnel of suffering. One can imagine a Middle East in which the Abraham Accords eventually reign. So thank you for the opportunity to address you.
We have to stand with Israel. It's our calling.
Weren't the victims of a random crime. The terrorist in Washington, something horrific happened. A brutal terrorist shot in cold blood a young, beautiful couple, Yaron Lishinsky and Sarah Milgram. Yaron had just bought an engagement ring for Sarah. He was planning to give it to her in Jerusalem next week. They were planning to start a new and happy life together.
That's awful.
Well, that tragically did not happen. Yaron and Sarah weren't the victims of a random crime. The terrorists who cruelly gunned them down did so for one reason and one reason alone.
A jihadi
He wanted
supporter.
to kill Jews.
Exactly.
And as he was taken away, he chanted, "Free Palestine." This is exactly the same chant we
They're
heard on
just
October
like
7th.
they should be angry about this because these are the same people that are like at the campus protests, and they're the same clowns that are now like committing genocide. They call for genocide against the Jews while they commit homicide against them. I mean, just rampant anti-Semitism from the so supposedly educated, but they just kind of admit defeat to the Jews and blame them for all their problems. And they need to be exposed because these fucking clowns are out there. Like, you should have heard the fucking shit that this guy was saying. He was a total clown. He seemed like he was straight off of a campus protest after brutally slaying this young couple in cold blood, this murderer. And he should get the death penalty for that, for sure, if there's a just court, because he's a blatant fucking murderer, and it's cold blood in this case. I mean, he killed 2 people. I mean, it's just ridiculous to even think.
That day, thousands of terrorists stormed into Israel from Gaza. They beheaded men, they raped women, they burned babies alive, they butchered 1,200 innocent people and took 251 innocent people hostage to the dungeons of Gaza.
Awful, yeah. And everyone just
A short time
forgets,
afterwards, Chancellor Scholz of Germany visited
there were
Israel.
already campus protests as soon as, like, the next day after that happened. And, like, everyone forgets, and then they're like, there's no justification. There's never been a more justified war than this operation in Gaza.
And after he saw the horrors, he said to me, "These Hamas terrorists are exactly like the Nazis.
They're
was right.
even worse. They're animals.
And if
They're
they
like,
could get away with it,
these terrorists don't operate with any moral code or, like, ethics at all. Like, they abuse their own women, and they stone people. I mean, but they're unified by one thing. Even the Sunnis and the Shiites are unified by hatred of the Jews in this case. Not all. And obviously, like, the Arab states and a lot of Muslim countries get along peacefully. But in Gaza, it's been the opposite, and they've elected terrorists to rule them in the past, and it's been a very unfortunate situation after Israel gave up control of Gaza to them. But I digress. We'll get back to
these Hamas terrorists would have slaughtered every last Jew on earth. For these neo-Nazis, free Palestine is
it's
just
like they all were just accusing everyone that they disagreed with being a Nazi now. But now it's like, I don't know, it's just cool to be a Nazi again, I guess. We've got Crystal knocked in this one, and all the campus protesters are just like really excited about this. So it's going to be awesome. They go to college to learn such useful things. But yeah, back to the video. It's just crazy to think that this is allowed.
Have you noticed your Android phone getting slower over time? That's a serious red flag that your phone might be infected.
They're basically getting radicalized in college, I guess, and on some campuses. The bigger colleges especially, I guess, from what I've heard. anyways, they've been like defending a lot of these people. They've been against like funding cuts and things like of that nature. A lot of anti-Semitism, and I guess it's really popular now on these campuses and abroad. But it's unfortunate, especially with people like Hasan, and you see a lot of influencers and streamers that are really vehemently and like viperously against. They're just anti-Semites. They're against the Jews. They believe in like their death and just execution, and they're just they're just vicarious, and they're just like rampant fucking like foaming at the mouth. They're just rabid fucking dogs against like Israel and like the Jews, and they want to fucking kill them and everything. And he's also just like people like Hassan, and they're just fucking deceptive to the core, man. They'll just always, it's always the Jews. Like the Jews are just they're just the problem for every situation. Just blame them for everything. And then that's always a solution. So you're the yes man, you're the solution guy, because you can always just blame someone. But that's all he does is just sit there and blames the fucking Jews. He doesn't have any context for anything. But he sits there and comments on some centuries-long fucking war in another country when they're fighting against the Philistines. And he doesn't know shit, like historical context. Just some fucking Gen Z motherfucker. This Hassan motherfucker. It's ridiculous. Like, a motherfucker that, like, literally has these opinions should not exist. But it's, like, common in a lot of these people. Like, this recent shooter was a fucking Hassan fan. So, like, obviously, these NPC motherfuckers that, like, go to school to just become radical, like, jihad, they're just, like, so stupid, bro. They go to college and they come out like a fucking jihadi, like, fucking, they come out like a Palestinian. Bro, go move to fucking Palestine. Go get a fucking house in Palestine. Go defend them. Because you're so fucking against Israel. Go do that shit in fucking Gaza, bro. Go to fucking Palestine. Go live, bro, put your fucking money and your life where your fucking mouth is. Stop, like, lecturing other people that are just, like, trying to go to college and obtain, like, a higher education. And shit, like, stop lecturing us, and now they're just, like, radicalizing themselves. It's ridiculous. Bro, if you want to be of that life, like, just go fucking support the cause, go to fucking Gaza, and just, like, fuck off. And, like, you can go and fight and, like, free Gaza. You can go and, like, defend Gaza or do whatever the fuck you want there. But you can stop yapping about it like you understand what the fuck is going on over there when you've never even fucking been. And, like, I've never even been to Gaza. I've been to Syria, but, like, I've never been to Gaza, like, myself. And, like, I wouldn't comment on it because it was always, like, an unstable region. But, like, Israel gave up Gaza to begin with because they wanted, like, a two-state solution in the past. They supported it. But it's just not going to work now because these motherfuckers are, like, so deceptive. They're, like, so, like, deceptive and, like, backhanded. They're just always, like, they just act in, like, deception and lies. And they're just going to get exposed for what they are. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But the fact that they're having these fucking protests, like, bro, join the military or something. Like, go fucking, they could never, like, take orders in the military or anything, bro. They're so obsessed, like, they're just obsessed with themselves. They have it so fucking good, they think they have everything figured out. Bro, you should be, like, sacrificing. Like, if you feel this fucking strongly about something, like, you don't just get to, like, fucking shoot someone, bro. Just go, like, oh, I watched Hassan's video. Hassan was literally calling for violence. Bro, like, and you can't just go shoot someone just because of their fucking ethnicity. You're just a Nazi at that point. Like, they're literally the ones that were complaining about fucking everyone else was a Nazi, right? But they're the fucking Nazis, literally. In this generation, it's, like, so, like, 180. It's, like, contrary to, like, logic. That they would be, like, they want concentration camps, bro. They want all this shit. And it's crazy, bro. Like, it doesn't even fucking matter on the grand scale of things. Like, these radical fucks, like, these are people that shouldn't even be radical. They're just so stupid that they get, like, radicalized, I feel like. And it's just sad that it's come to this state to where this is just the state of affairs, unfortunately. It's just, like, ignorant people, like, comment and, like, they get bought in by propaganda. It's called, like, I don't know, I think of it like just being, like, brainwashed by Gaza. It's like, bro, if you have all these opinions, go fucking there yourself. Like, actually do something to support the cause and stop yapping. They even complain about the fucking fundraiser. Like, that other Hassan fan, or that other, like, Hassan in that group, bro, they were just complaining about, like, the fundraisers. The fundraisers aren't even a good... Bro, what the fuck do you want? Like, go there yourself. What are you supposed... Like, he's always, like, calling out people for not calling out the genocide in Gaza. Bro, go fucking expose it or something. There's other genocides. Like, you're not talking about South Africa. Like, no one talks about these other genocides, but you act like everyone has to fucking be about your shit and, like, talking about the shit that's going on there. Bro, in my opinion, they started the fucking genocide. And it's going to be like Judgment Day every day since. It's going to be like October 7th for them. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, they are the problem, bro. And, like, you're sitting here, like, supporting Hamas and shit. Like, bro, just go there yourself. Like, if you think you can, like, bring about some positive fucking outcome or, like, solution, just, like, be less of a burden to the world, at least, please. Like, it's goddamn fucking ridiculous, bro. It's so annoying. And it's like, you have no historical context. You've never fucking been near there. Like, you would never last a chance in Gaza, bro. And it's just ridiculous that you're always fucking on this shit, bro. You're so obsessed with this fucking Gaza, bro. Just go live there, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'll go to Gaza myself once this shit's calmed down, bro. I deadass will spend time in Gaza. This shit's so dumb, bro. All this shit, these fucking Gaza simps. Bro, like, you don't know shit about... You're not sitting there, like, you're not giving these fucking Gazans food that are starving. You're not, like, actually calling for, like, constructive things when you're calling for, like, the death of Jews. You're just calling for the death of Jews, bro. You're just calling for the death of other people, so why the fuck should anybody listen to you? If anything, they should bomb Gaza harder. Like, you're calling for the death of some other fucking group of people, of, like, civilians, so why the fuck would that garner you any fucking support at all? Like, did Martin Luther King die for nothing? I don't understand. Like, he literally, like... all our founding principles and, like, of the West and everything is just based on, like, on top of, like, you have to, like, be peaceful in, like, your protest. You can protest, like, with your opinions, like they do all the time, bro. It's always something else. It's always the same group of, like, college protesters, these campus protesters, and they were the same fucking group. Honestly, the same group as the Tesla vandals, really. It's just, like, same group of people, but it's like, bro, they low-key obsessed with Gaza. And they're always trying to, like, grandstand on top of this shit like we're a bunch of fucking Israelis. Bro, there's, like... I ain't even Jewish, bro. And it's just... This shit just gets annoying, bro. You're trying to always, like, guilt motherfuckers because they're not out fighting for Gaza because they don't fucking take up arms against, like, the IDF or some shit. Bro, like... It's like we're not all a bunch of fucking radicalized fucking Houthis, bro. It's like, get real. What the fuck are you on about? Like, you actually on this platform, like, talking to, like, minors and shit. Like, you actually, you have an audience of, like, impressionable people, I'm sure. Like, I don't know what the fuck he covers besides Gaza, bro. It's like, I've never watched his content, but I know it's just, like, a Twitch. Twitch is just a hotbed of, like, fucking... For one thing, I was always, like, out that generation, bro. I never even fucking used Twitch. I never even touched that shit. But, I mean, it's... The two things I've never really fucked with is Twitch and Reddit. Because that shit was gay as fuck. But, I mean, Twitch, apparently it's, like, a major hotbed of, like, fucking anti-Semitism. And they host people like Hasan all the fucking time. So it's just basically, like, a breeding ground for these fucking vitriol, like, vile ideologies that just come out of this fucking... Do you have a citizenship in Gaza, gang? I'm just wondering, like, are you an official citizen of Gaza? Like, are you, like, or do they require, like, you commit and, like, serve the country if you're, like, a citizen here? I don't understand. Maybe it's like Israel. But, you know, maybe you should go and, like, consider living there. Anyways, back to the video. Let's just see what...
If your neck looks like this, you need to watch this video. When you sit at your...
This cold-blooded slaying
innocent
of this
people
couple.
and took 251 innocent people hostage to the dungeons of Gaza. A short time afterwards, Chancellor Scholz of Germany visited Israel. And after he saw the horrors, he said to me, "These Hamas terrorists are exactly like the Nazis."
And
He was
Israel's
right.
Israel's
And
had
if
an
they
ally
could
in
get
Germany.
away with it, these Hamas terrorists would have slaughtered every last Jew on earth. For these neo-Nazis...
Yeah, they had like, Germany's actually, like, a supporter of Israel as of recently. The true Nazis are coming off these fucking campuses. It's just... It's so obvious, like, they're just, like, being radicalized by motherfuckers like Hasan and these snakes that are, like, these serpents infecting, like, the younger generation with just, like, vitriolic hatred for the Jewish people, based on nothing, just based on things that they don't even understand that existed before their fucking generation and their bloodline existed. Like, it's just ridiculous, like, the lack of context. Or, like, if they have context, they're just deceptive about their motives and shit. They don't really give a fuck. They don't care. Like, they're just gonna keep sitting up there and, like, lying about, like, all this shit. constantly, until the end of time. Like, is there at no point where it's like calling for violence with these people? Like, they're able to like motivate the slaying of like Jewish people and like anti-Semitic behavior of this magnitude. Like, I don't know. Like, at a certain point, you're causing the violence if you're just directly targeting one group of people. There have to be like there are anti-racist laws. I mean, like, society is fair now. Like, at least society is fair, and like, you can't have motherfuckers sitting up there like supporting terrorists. At a certain point, it's like fucking treason. And it's not even like, it's one thing and they're like designated terrorists, but this is when it's an actual like terrorist organization that's operating terrorist acts against civilians in mass, and there's no other definition for them really. So anyways,
these neo-Nazis, Free Palestine is just today's version of Heil Hitler. They don't want a Palestinian state. They want to destroy the Jewish state.
That's true.
They want to annihilate the Jewish people who've been in the land of Israel for 3,500 years.
This phrase that was just uttered by the Prime Minister is very important, and one that...
Oh, sorry, I'm watching a little video here by another guy, so it's like, it's gonna be a little thing. So I just think it's ironic that these same clown fucking idiots are gonna sit up here and like preach to other people about genocide while they call for the extermination of Jews. But anyways, hopefully I don't get mad at him.
Because by issuing their demand, replete with a threat of sanctions against Israel, not Hamas, these three leaders effectively said they want Hamas to remain in power. They want Israel to stand down and accept that Hamas's army of mass murderers will survive, rebuild, and repeat the October 7th massacre again and again and again, because that's what Hamas is vowed to do. Will again seek to destroy the Jewish state. And mind you, it's not going to be a state free of Hamas. When you establish a Palestinian state, we've seen it. The radicals take over. Iran sends them in and they take over. So don't give us this talk. It'll be a peaceful Palestinian state. It won't be. But the hypocrisy doesn't stop there.